Hey guys, this is my full ranged ED3 beginner guide for anyone looking to either get better or learn ranged ED3. On screen right now are some requirements and useful items that you can bring. For the requirements, you're just going to need tier 80 armor, tier 90 weapons. I wouldn't recommend trying to learn this dungeon without at least that. Overloads are a must, and entry level perks will significantly help you out. If you have higher than entry level perks, of course, use those. For the useful items, you'll want mechanized chinchompers for clearing out the dungeon, salve amulet for all the undead enemies in the dungeon, as well as the undead slayer perk on your gear. You can bring that if you have it. Undead slayer sigil, which you can buy from the Grand Exchange or make yourself. Planted feet switch to increase your diff swiftness timer. Combatant's cape or max cape so that you can bring a couple skill cape perks with you. Limitless for when adrenaline potion is on cooldown, of course adrenaline potions as well. Greater ricochet if you have it. It's a very expensive item new into the game. You don't need it, but it will increase your damage a little bit. If you can also complete Curse of the Black Stone quest, which will give you 10% damage reduction inside the dungeon from all enemies, and will also allow you to upgrade your Elite Dungeons chest to be able to bank with it and get extra loot. So we're just going to start off with going through the gear setup. So we'll go through the equipment that I'm wearing first. So we're just using standard Serenic. If you want to use tier 80 armor, I'd recommend using at least tier 80 armor. So if you want to use Pernix or something like that, that is also fine. But I only own Serenic, so I'm going to be using that. For your pocket slot, use your Scrimshaw of Cruelty. For your cape, if you're maxed, use your Kiln cape, because then you'll have your max perks on there, which I'd recommend having at least range and defense if you're going to be ranging. If you're not maxed, probably use a combatant's cape, and that way you can put 2 perks on there, and I'd recommend using your defense and ranged perks. The reason you want the range cape perk is because it increases the chance for your enchanted bolts to proc, which can increase your DPS while you're killing the bosses. For the amulet, I'm going to be using an Amulet of Souls just because this is a beginner guide and some of you may not have Essence of Finalities. If you do own a Essence of Finality, it is definitely better to use that, but again, you will do fine with the Souls. For your weapons, Blightbound crossbows or Ascension crossbows. The only reason I'm not using Ascensions is because I do not own them, but you'll be able to do the boss pretty much exactly the same way I do, even though I'm using Blightbounds. For your gloves, the best ones to use for the ranged are your Nightmare Gauntlets so that you can run while using Snipe, and it also provides Snipe with an extra 25% accuracy. For your boots, you want Fleeting Boots if you can, just so you can run with your Rapid Fire. It's just a little bit of utility that does help a decent amount. For your ring, if you're confident, use an Asylum Surgeon's ring. If you're not that confident and you don't want to pay your death costs, use a Ring of Death to reduce your cost when dying. As for the inventory setup, you want to bring a Onyx Backroom Bolt switch for certain parts of the dungeon, Chinchompers when you're clearing out the trash mobs in the dungeon, Bladed Dive switch, whatever that may be, preferably with a mobile perk on one of the weapons. Shield switch, doesn't matter what perks are on those. A Planted Feet switch, doesn't really matter what item you put that on, that's just for when you activate Diff Swiftness. Vulnerability bombs for the bosses, Lucky Charms for a little bit of extra GP and loot while killing the mobs, Ring of Vigor for your ultimate abilities, Weapon Poison for a little bit of extra damage, and your Salve Amulet for the undead enemies, including the second boss. Then you just want your standard potions, Overload, Super Prayer Renewal, a Adrenaline Potion, and some Prayer Potions. If you have salves, you can use those to save an inventory spot. You can also bring a Power Burst of Acceleration just to use throughout the dungeon. Not necessary, but it does speed you up a little bit. Fill the rest of your inventory with your food of choice. I'm using Saradomin Brews and Blue Blubber Jellyfish. If you prefer to use something else, that is completely up to you. So getting into the dungeon, what you want to do is just pot up Prez on, of course. And basically you're going to be using your Chinchompers for most of the dungeon. And make use of your Corruption Blast as much as possible. What you want to do with your Chinchompers is, as you can see here, these scouts, they're ranged enemies, so they're not going to chase me around, but the crabs are melee enemies. So what you want to do, for the most part, is you want to stand near the ranged enemies and drag the melee enemies over to them so that you can use your Chinchompers on everything. So So here I'm going to walk behind all the scouts, and that way the crabs will walk up to me. I'm just going to drop a rapid fire, and you can see all of them dying simultaneously. This crab here was unfortunately 2 tiles away, so he did not get damaged. Again, up here there's 2 scouts, so they're ranged, so what I'm going to do is drag the melee minions over, and then target the one in the center, and that way I'm just going to rapid fire and it's going to hit all 5 enemies. And you just want to be doing that for most of the dungeon. If you want to have a look what abilities I'm using at any point, have a look above my inventory. I do have an ability tracker there for you. And basically, once you clear out these 2 zealots, you want to step past the barrier behind this rock, and then place your character diagonal towards the wall, and then surge through, and then bladed dive. Take 2 steps back to drag the zealots, and then put your chin chompers back on, and just rapid fire on one of the zealots. Unfortunately, one of the scouts is not going to be in range of that, but you just finish him off afterwards. Make sure you're making use of Corruption Shot as much as possible, as it is a AoE bleed ability. For these zombies, you can equip your Salve Amulet if you want for an extra 20% damage, so it is very useful to do that. If you have Undead Slayer Sigil, you can also use that on these zombies. Again, you just want to stack up all the enemies nice and close so that you can use your chin chompers to the pretty much just to maximum usage that you can. Once you kill all the zombies, you can pass through this barrier, and you just want to cross the this plank here. One more group of zombies, so if you should definitely keep your Salve Amulet on for this part. Again, just wait till they group up on you and then drop a rapid fire. Unfortunately, one of them walked behind me, so he did not get damaged by anything, but we'll just finish him off with the crossbows. Here, you only need to kill the 2 zealots before the gate will open, but you'll see that I choose to kill all of them just because I don't want any of them in the boss arena with me. Once you've killed the enemies, you're going to head into the boss arena. Put your crossbows on, we don't need the chin chompers. Make sure you equip your Soul's Amulet. No, don't have your Salve Amulet on for this part, and you just want to surge down, Corruption Blast, Death Swiftness. His first attack, when he moves his head, is going to be the acid attack, so you just want to be to the side of him so that you don't get damaged by that. Start your Death Swiftness off with a Needle Strike Snipe Tendrils into a Snapshot, and then build to a Rapid Fire. At this point, he's gonna, after his first attack, the next attack will be a swipe. You just want to run across the side that he does not move his head to, so you'll see he moves to the right, and then he's gonna move to the left. And you just want to switch sides as he does that. Then you're gonna have 2 attacks, and my Death Swiftness is bugged out here. You can't see the animation, but it is still there. You just want to keep dropping your thresholds, your Needle Strikes, your Tendrils, Snapshot, Rapid Fire. Just prioritize your strong abilities. You can see what abilities I'm using above my ability bar. After 2 attacks, he'll do another swipe. It is a random side, so you just want to be ready to swap over, and then he's going to do it again. At this point, just DPS freely. He's going to do 2 more basic attacks, and then he's going to switch sides. Here you want to start building for another Death Swiftness, so just build up, and then when he switches, put a Fragmentation Shot, because that will double damage when he switches sides. Bladed Dive, surge across, and get a Death Swiftness up while placing another Von Bomb. And here, I won't be using Limitless because this is a beginner guide, but you just want to build 50% and drop some more thresholds. After the acid attack, he's going to do 1 basic, and then he's going to do another swipe. Move over if you need to, and just keep DPSing inside your Death Swiftness. This is why you want a Death Swiftness near the middle of the arena, by the way, so that when you move sides, you're still inside it. Also, once he's below 80k HP, make sure you switch your bolts to Onyx because rubies are no longer the most effective. And you just want to DPS him down, finish him off. And that will be the end of the fight. Remember to activate your Scrimshaw for the boss fights and deactivate once you're done with the boss fights just to save on cost. This is where you want to use your power burst of acceleration, because there is a lot of distance to cover here. So you'll see I just bladed dive and surge through everything. Again, stand next to the ranged enemies and let the melee ones come to you, and then use your rapid fires or your snapshots or whatever abilities you feel like using. Make sure your chinchompers are equipped, of course. So these are zombies. You can equip your Salve Amulet once you pass that barrier for a decent part of the next, a decent few minutes of the next dungeon. So just keep DPSing. And it's good to learn the bladed dive spots as well. So here you'll see I can bladed dive a little bit diagonally there, and then surge down as well for this spot. Again, just target the center enemy and use a rapid fire or a snapshot or just your threshold. I'd recommend using a rapid fire here because you want to save your snapshot for the single target enemy that we're about to kill. So you need to kill one necromancer, either choose left or right. I always choose right, but I drop a nice corruption bleed and then, a fragmentation bleed and then a snapshot and just finish them off. Chinchomper's back on, corruption bleed, and then a rapid fire. Finish off those 3 zombies guarding the door, and then go through the door. Bladed dive surge down, and just pick your side. I choose to go right first, and here, single target, so make sure you have your crossbows on. You only need to kill the necromancer. Snapshot, couple bleeds. Activate the sigil, and then go over to the other side. During the whole time of clearing out any trash mobs in the dungeon, make sure you have your Onyx Bolts equipped, not your Rubies, because Rubies are not effective against low HP targets. When you get to the bridge, you want to Devotion and then surge down. Drop a bleed on the Sea Horror that's on the left side, and then target the Sea Horror that is closest to you. You want to move into this corner that I'm at, so that only one Sea Horror can attack you, and you just want to use your rapid fire and your snapshots and just drop your thresholds and your bleeds. Alternatively, you can Revenge Reflect on the bridge if you feel like doing that, but that is up to you. Be careful going in low HP to this spot, as you saw I almost died there. But you can chuck Soul Split on, just make sure you're decent HP, and just AoE these mobs. Finish off those 3, they're the only ones you need to kill for this gate. You can hear Bladed Dive surge through that wall. And just walk behind the necromancers, and that way some of the enemies won't be able to attack you, and just attack a center target and rapid fire. As you can see, Chinchompers just make this dungeon super easy for all the trash mobs. Everything just dies very quickly. If you want to tally out, you can. If you want to bank with a chest, you can. It's up to you, but you want to just reload your preset, come in here with your Blightbounds, Mage Prayer on, Scrimshaw on, and you want to walk up with a Fragmentation shot. Escape back, Depth Swiftness, walk 2 steps back, 2 or 3 steps back, then back in with a Needle Strike Snapshot. Make sure you throw your Von Bomb and Adrenaline Potion Tendrils. Another Needle Strike Snapshot. Needle Strike again, and then Snipe. When I activate my Rapid Fire after my Snipe, I'm going to switch to my Chinchompers before I do it, because as you'll see, the portal spawns here. And the reason we escaped back and dragged him is so that we can Chinchomper the boss while also killing the portal. And so portal is now dead, switch back to your Blightbounds and just DPS the boss. Before he gets below 200k HP, you want to walk to the east side of the arena and use a push ability. So I would very highly recommend using the Route, the Shock Horror and Route Codex, so that you can push Taraket. What you want to do is block Taraket off if you can, and that way you're able to stack up the Corpse Carrier and Taraket, and you can just use Chinchompers again to kill both at the same time. The reason we pushed him to this side is so that we can force spawn the Corpse Carrier and not have to deal with him on the second half of the fight. And here you just want to keep using thresholds and DPSing the boss. What I should have done is use a Corruption Blast to get rid of those skeletons, because as you saw, he got a bit of an overheal there. But it's nothing to worry about. You can just keep DPSing, and he'll be dead soon enough. A good thing about the route abilities, the push abilities as well, is that you can use Fragmentation Shot and then push Tarot for double damage. During this time where he's running over to the other side, at any of this point in the fight, you can Soul Split for damage. Even though you're only hitting ones, it'll still heal you the full amount. What you want to do is come to the north side of the arena so that you're north of Tarot for this next phase. And the reason for that is we want to push him back to where the portal is going to spawn. So you just want to put a Fragmentation Shot and then push him back, and then you want to diff Swiftness in melee distance of him. I'll explain why we do that in a second, which I can explain now, but basically you just want to DPS the shit out of him. And the reason we're in melee distance is because when he switches to range form, he's going to do the Ghost Wave attack, and the easiest way to avoid that is just to walk through him. So in a second, he's going to put his Diff Swiftness up. First attack is going to be a Ghost Wave. Walk through him, no damage taken. What he's going to do now is one more basic attack, so you wait for the animation, there it is. Next attack is Ghost Wave, walk through him. No damage taken, continue DPSing Tarot. If a portal spawns at any point during this phase, equip your Chinchompers and just DPS Tarot, and the portal will die on its own. So here you'll see the portal just spawned, but since he's only on 30k HP, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to DPS Tarot. Remember that when his Death Swiftness runs out, he's doing maged attacks again, so make sure you switch back to Mage Brain. And that is the end of the fight. Okay, turn your Scrimshaw off and just stand behind this witch so that her little minions come towards you. Keep your Mage Brain on for this part because the witch does hurt, and just use your Chinchompers to kill all the enemies. Put your crossbow on because we are doing some single target damage now. And we're just going to run behind this demon, that way the zombies can't get past. And you're able to Soul Split now. Make sure you also equip your Onyx Bolts because these enemies don't have high enough HP to make Ruby Bolts worthwhile. Onyx Bolts can also heal you, which is just a nice quality. If you have your Power Burst Acceleration, you can use that here to just speed through this part. And what we need to do is just kill a whole bunch of Necromancers, so this is the first one behind this bush. So just drop some Thresholds and a couple Bleeds. Drop your Bleeds first, of course. And then here is the second Necromancer behind this wall. Just chuck a Rapid Fire, nice and easy. And then you just want to surge down towards the third one. Drop your Bleeds, Snapshot, and then just move over to the last one. Once you kill this Necromancer, you need to run down. If you want to, you can Bladed Dive through that wall and then just click on the ledge and jump off the ledge. That's going to send us down to this area. What you want to do is just go all the way to the gate here. And all these enemies are melee, so they're all going to run towards you. If you want, you can throw a Von Bomb and just get your Chinchompers on, attack the middle target, and just Rapid Fire. Nice and easy. Everything dies. This next part we need to kill 2 warped skeletons, so put your Salve Amulet on, because they are undead enemies. If you want to use your Undead Slayer Codex, you can as well. I'd recommend trying, if they're not close together and they don't both aggro, just kill one at a time because they can hit pretty hard. If you need to, put your Mage Prey on because that's what they deal most with. Kill the second skeleton and then the barrier is going to open, and what you're going to want to do is just surge down and just stand behind the Zealots. It's going to drag everything to you, and you're just going to want to put a Rapid Fire on the center Zealot. If you're taking too much damage here, make sure you put on your Mage Prayer because it'll most likely be the skeletons that are hurting you. Again, surge down, stand behind the scouts, and just let the skeletons come towards you and just drop a Rapid Fire. And then the barrier will open once those 4 enemies are dead. At this point you want to reload your preset, whether it be banking a PBM hub or just with the chest, it's up to you. I chose to go to PBM hub and just run back down. What you want to do here is put your Mage Prey on activate Devotion as you run into the arena, and that way you're going to get hit by 0 by the first mage hit, because he will do a mage hit on the first attack, and every 6 attacks will be a mage hit. What you want to do is run in with a Corruption Shot, and then you want to activate Death Swiftness, Needle Strike, Snipe, and then Adrenaline Pot, Snapshot, Needle Strike, Rapid Fire. Range Prey on for all of the fight pretty much until he fires a mage hit, which will happen every 6 attacks, so you want to Mage Prey for that. For the smoke, just drop it either side of your Death Swiftness, wait a second when it drops, and then move back into your Death Swiftness. And then just re-drop your thresholds. Good thing about Fleeting Boots is here I activate my Rapid Fire and I can walk forward. Mage Prey for the mage hit, and then stun, use a stun ability on the black hole to get rid of it. Keep DPSing Ambassador, make sure you drop bleed since you're outside of Death Swiftness. With the second smoke, drop it as close as possible to your first one so that you don't take up too much space in the arena. Make sure you're mage flicking for the mage hits, otherwise you will take 5Ks and they do hurt. 2 attacks after that second smoke, Ambassador will be phased. Just step south of him and put your Soul Split on. For the first spinner, you want to use a Fragmentation Shot, push it back with the Threshold pushback ability, and then Corruption Shot, and then a couple basics. For the second one, Needle Strike, and then drop a Rapid Fire. This is a beautiful part of Fleeting Boots. You can run through the flames, or with the flames with Rapid Fire. Every second spinner, you want to drop a Fragmentation Shot, push it back, and drop a Corruption, and then a couple basics. Fourth spinner, Snapshot, Snipe, finish it off with basics. Again, next spinner, bleeds again, so Fragmentation Shot, push it back, Corruption. Make sure, of course, you have your Onyx Bolts on for this part because they don't have high HP. Switch back to your Ruby Bolts when you go back to Ambassador, throw a Vulnerability Bomb, and Death Swiftness while the spinner goes in. Snipe, couple basics, so Needle Strike, and maybe a Ricochet, and then you want to Riz the spinner hit. It is very likely you won't be able to kill all 6 spinners, so just you want to Riz that hit. During this whole time you're going to be in your Death Swiftness, just use your thresholds and your strong basics, your Needle Strike, your Snipe. I would advise against using Tendrils if you're not confident, just because of the damage that you take because of it. With the smoke, again, same as first phase, drop it to one side of your Death Swiftness, then go over to the other side. Here you're going to see me not worry about the black hole yet, because I just want to get his HP a little bit lower, and then I'm going to stun it to avoid taking damage, and then continue back DPSing Ambassador. Once he's below 550k HP, that is the phase point pass, you will not get another set of spinners. With the smoke, just drop it near one of your other smokes, and then just move out of it. Here you just want to keep DPSing and build up to another Death Swiftness. Here you can see I get another Death Swiftness up. And then use your Adrenaline Potion and then drop your thresholds. We need to get him down to 400k before the last phase starts. You don't need to be full HP for this part because you are going to get a full heal once you get 400k HP. So here you're going to see I'm not going to eat any more food because I'm about to get healed by Seiryu. Here we get a full heal. And then these minions are also going to get taken care of. Remember to keep mage flicking for those mage hits, because they do hurt. So this is the last phase now. Ambassador's going to become untargetable for a second. What you want to do is walk close to Ambassador. You want to be in melee distance. The reason for this is because we want to get our next Death Swiftness close to Ambassador, so that when we run around blocking the heals, that we can stay inside Death Swiftness. So each time a hand slaps, it's going to send over some black smoke. It'll be white smoke if you're not blocking the path of it, which means it'll heal Ambassador, so you want to make sure that you are between that hand and Ambassador blocking that smoke. Don't drop another Death Swiftness yet, wait until the first magic attack, use Devotion, Mage Prey, so when he calls out your name, Mage Prey, Devotion, and then build to 100. Get your Death Swiftness up and put it as close to Ambassador. If you want, you can even put it under Ambassador, so that when you walk around blocking the smoke, you're still inside your Death Swiftness. Build up to thresholds. If you have Limitless, you can use it. I'm not using it because it is a beginner guide, but just build up to your thresholds and keep using those. Once you get your Snapshot and your Rapid Fire off, make sure you stay above 50% Adren, because he's going to do another spec. So here you want to Debilitate and Reflect. I didn't have enough Adren for Reflect, but yeah, if you want to be safe, make sure you Debilitate and Reflect. Make sure you're still inside your deafness and drop another Snapshot and another Rapid Fire, and the fight will be almost over. Once he's below 80k HP, make sure that you equip your Onyx Bolts because Rubies are no longer as effective. And you just want to finish him off with your basics. If by chance you do get another Mage attack, Devotion and Mage Crave will be ready again, so just use that. Thank you guys for watching my ranging guide to ED3. Hopefully this helps some people out if you guys were looking to get better at ranging ED3. If you have any questions about the video or anything in the video, just leave that in the comments section and I will reply to you there. If you have any feedback on the video, it is greatly appreciated as well. So if you have any feedback or criticism, just leave that in the comments section as well. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.